Being patient is one of the fastest ways to make more money. And I know that sounds super punny, right? But it's totally true. Okay, most traders, if you throw your trades into any stat tool, your more profitable trades are gonna be trades that you hold just a little bit longer, right? 10 minutes plus. I've seen that across myself, Soul, who I run the Discord with, a bunch of other folks, right? Once you get into a trade and you have a winner and you hold it over 10 minutes, that's where you really get those super green trades that really impact your P&L in a meaningful way. In this video, I'm gonna go over today's price action. That's why I wanted to talk about it in this context in particular. I had a really good day, but more so than P&L, I wanna show you how long some of these trades actually took and how some of my thesis really got tested, right? But ended up all being correct. For those of you that are new here, my name is Forrest. I invest in stuff and I think that everybody should too. If you're into prop trading, I have a ton of links below. You can check out My Funded Futures. I'm their official YouTuber. Go check out their channel, subscribe to their channel as well. If you want a really good prop firm, I have discount codes for apextraderfunding. I've been trading with them the longest. You can use code FORCETRADING for them as well, or any of the others. Purdia, if you want to be a news trader with prop firms, you can check out the link for Purdia. You can use code FORCEST50 for 50% off there and a bunch of others. I'm doing my best to give you guys discounts wherever I can find them, whenever I partner with any of these folks. In any case though, let's take a look at some charts. Okay, so you can see my charts are still marked up here. This is from me actually trading, and I had my thoughts here throughout the session. So a few different things here. So first and foremost, we had the opening kind of short or gap down overnight. This is a trade that Sol and I were both talking about. This happens on both sides of the market, right? So not just on the downside, but also happens on the upside, right? So this will end up creating a gap on SPX. You can see that sell-off was here, right? We gapped down, and let me clean up this chart on the right side of the screen for you. We'll actually just expand it, turn off all the indicators. So you can see that it gapped down, okay? Starting on SPX, this is actually important. We had a 5150 OI wall from yesterday, put side, got cracked. This is important. I've been tracking these interest area kind of walls and continuations through them for a while. Just like the 5100 wall that I was talking about previously, you can see here that they put these puts out of the money, and then we cracked through this OI wall. Thinking of today, we had an OI wall down here at 5100, put all those out the money. What do we think is gonna happen, guys? Well, very likely we could run this down next week, okay? So where does that play into patience, right? Let's go into today's session about some of my thesis for today. So today I was downside biased. We had this sell-off, and in the morning, if I hit replay here on ES, go down here, and let's actually go down to the 3 minute so we can really see this play out. So there's a few things here. Here's the Monday POC. So this is the POC, naked POC from Monday. You can see it down over here. Monday POC. Also have a trend line. You can see this vertical blue trend line coming down here. So in the morning, I'm thinking, this looks far away. It looks a little too far away. And this is probably a thought process that you've had as a trader. Okay, you're looking at the market, you have a thesis, and you're like, man, it seems so far away. But you have to remember time. Time is on your side. Okay, when we're watching and when we're in trades, a minute, 5 minutes seems like forever, but it's really not that long, right? If you go outside, pick up coffee, come back, that's like 20 minutes. If you were in a trade through that 20 minutes, it would seem like a long amount of time. When you're not in a trade, it's just a normal 20 minutes, okay? That's the problem, or kind of the challenge that we all have as traders, is not waiting. So I have this thesis essentially that we're gonna come down and eventually hit, one of these trend lines down here. There's a lot of intersecting trend lines from the major price structure. This is a 4-hour trend line that I have coming up here. And I'm downside biased again because we had that put wall, 5150, that we cracked, right, that they burned up yesterday on that Thursday. So I have the thesis. All I have to do is wait. Let's see how long it takes for us to get down here. So in the morning, boom, 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 we sell off. What time is it at this point? This is actually pre-market, still early, 9:21, 9:30 hits. Now the market it's still not open yet, right? It's still 9:20. We come down to this naked POC, boom, boom. Okay, so the market opens, the current POC here, 9:33 a.m. is at the lows, and I'm thinking, this is still exceptionally bearish. I'm expecting them at this point to retest this trend line. And I'm actually waiting for a trend line retest long, right? I called this out in the Discord. I also mentioned that at some point in the day, they're going to do a VWAP retest. There's two things that I'm looking for. I'm looking for a general downtrend with a pullback. I'm looking for something that looks like this to wherever VWAP is, right? And VWAP is going to curve around like this at some point. That's what we ended up with. It happens on both sides of the market. This is a down, very, very early downside sell-off, gap down, basically looking for some continuation here. So I'm taking a short. I took a short at 163. actually remember on NQ. We're on ES right now, but I ended up taking a short when ES is around this price. And what do we get? We get continuation. Get some continuation. Okay, we hit that POC again. Now it's 9:45. Get a little bit lower, and we finally get down here at 10 a.m. So that's 30 minutes. 30 minutes after the initial touch, we finally get the retest. 30 very long minutes. So being patient, if you imagine that you're in a short from up here, which I wasn't, but imagine I think someone in our community named W Dog, he was, shout out to W Dog, made it to the YouTube. He was short way up here, right? And you have to imagine if he has a thesis coming down here, he knows, right? W Dog's a pretty good trader, and all good traders know this. We know we're going to chop around POC. We know that the market open is volatile. Well, both of those are occurring right here. We have market open and POC at the lows. So if I'm short and I'm expecting here, I need to anticipate this pullback. Okay, I need to anticipate it, and that goes into patience. Being able to look forward at what your possible drawdown and pullbacks are going to be. That's 18 points on ES, and NQ is going to be much more significant. But your part of being patient is holding through the expected pullbacks. Why? And this is a little challenge question to you for really quick. Does the market ever move in a straight line? 1, 2, 3. The answer is no. It doesn't move in a straight line. So in every single trade that you're in, every single one, you should expect to be up 30 points, up 20 points, up 35 points, 38, 39, 40 points, up 31 points, right? It's going to go up and down and up and down and up and down because that's how the market moves. It makes sense. But for some reason, when we're in a trade, we always forget that. So eventually we crack that. Okay, right here. This is a really, really important one. I'm actually going to switch over to the 5-minute. So we get a high volume bottom wick on the 5. This was also so we swept this here, right? We punctured through this area. We got a high volume bottom wick. You can see that it looks like we disrespected the POC, but not really. This is the point of control is an area in the auction, right? It's not a line. We draw a line through it. Point of control, we can literally see it. It's a price area. It's the area of most participation. And in this case, we had the naked POC for Monday. The current session POC is here. Put a nice hammer wick here. So I'm expecting, I literally call this out live on the Discord. I'm expecting a pullback to VWAP. So I take this long. Let's see how long it takes after this close here of this candle at 10:05 to actually get to VWAP. Goes up, goes up, goes up. Boom. We finally touched it at 10:40. 35 minutes. 35-minute hold to get that trade. After that, I kind of just played the waiting game. We ended up cracking this a little bit. We come back down. Yada, yada. We do some more things here. There were some more notes that I had, right? So I mentioned that we cracked this trend line down here. You can see that that was noted. And there were some other structural kind of changes that I notated on my charts on NQ. So let's go take a look at those because these were important as well. And these all play into patience. This is why I want you guys to be patient, especially around structure. Okay. So one of the problems with holding trades, one of the things we have here, you can see I bought a gamma call here, ended up selling this was an attempt at a gamma trade. The market didn't move with enough continued speed to hold it. So I took it for 50% gain, which is nice. But nonetheless, you can see that we had this structure here. So this blue line, if I zoom out, this blue line here is a triple bottom. If I go to the 4-hour, it says I cracked that line. This is a triple bottom from going back a few sessions. We'll get rid of all of these lines. You can see 1, 2, 3 right there. So that's why I had that there. Go back to the 15-minute. So I mentioned that we cracked this line on the 5 because one of the hardest things in a session is when price barely goes through structure. When it barely goes through structure like this on the higher time frames, people get really chicken. They get really scared. So imagine I took a short here, okay, expecting it to come back to this trend line. You can see it came back through this baby trend line. I'm a very technical trader, so I end up with a lot of lines. I remove them when I record, but I have a lot of lines. Intraday, I add and remove. I basically remove them once they start to get disrespected a lot. But we cracked through just barely this macro trend line. So your first reaction is like, oh no, I gotta sell, or maybe you were long off the bottom, right? This is probably the better trade here. You take the long and you're looking for VWAP. You see structure breakdown here. You see these pullbacks, right? If you're long, would shake you out. And if you take the short here, you see it crack right here and you get scared on the downside. The price is not always going to be penny perfect, guys. So you need to be patient with your trades. Let them settle, give price action 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm telling you, in that 5 to 10 minute range is really where you can see these things shake out. And here's a quick tip for you. So if I enter on a 5-minute candle, I need to wait at least 5 minutes for my trade. Now, there's asterisk to this. If it wicks back against you 30 points, depending on the size of your trade, you probably want to cut that. Okay. You shouldn't be holding losers into infinity. If you get immediate information that your trade is wrong, that's one thing. Now, if it goes red 7 points, 8 points, you know, you probably could have gotten a better entry, right? Maybe you went, you know, long up here instead of long here, right? Looking for VWAP. So you could have waited, but nonetheless, I mean, you still should give that trade. This applies for, you know, if I enter on the 15 minutes, I should give my trade 15 minutes. If I wait on the 1 hour candle, I should give my trade, you know, 1 hour. Okay. I need to wait at least 1 hour for my trade. Sounds simple, but again, think of that analogy again. How long is 20 minutes when you're in a trade versus when you just go walk around the block? It's all mental, guys. It's all up here. It's all very, very mental. So that's what this video is about. I wanted to show you the structure from today. Also, we punctured this VWAP up here. This is a very common fake out on, you know, trend days, but also just, this was kind of a downtrend day in general, but this puncture through VWAP fakes out so many people, right? If you're short, this goes in the patience as well. Imagine you're short from the highs. You're short from up here, and you know that in general, it's going to pull back to VWAP, but you anticipate, let's say you're a genius, you anticipate it's going to come down here. This is a huge amount of drawdown to expect, unless you're trading on the higher time frame. If I'm trading on the 1 hour, 4 hour, this is nothing. This is nothing to me. It's where on the shorter time frames where every single candle becomes a data point. Now you're making decisions based off of a ton of data. But if I look at this price action on the 1 hour, it's a lot less data. If I look at it on the 4 hour, you know, on the 4 hour chart, there's really not too much here, right? Let's remove this. Let's remove this. 4 hour chart, we have a very big engulfing black candle. We have a high volume doji, and then we have another small kind of doji candle as well. It's like a doji and like a spinning top candle. 3 decisions here. How many decisions here, right? And if you're trading on the 3 minute or the 1 minute, a gazillion decisions. So every single one of those candles becomes a decision. And as you're deciding things, you're experiencing that feeling of time, and it gets harder and harder to hold. It starts to crack through, and now you're making decisions on the crack through because there's 3 candles that crack through. So now you're trying to decide 3 different times. It gets very, very difficult. So my advice, again, to all of you who are newer traders, is trade on the higher time frames, be patient, make sure you understand where your trade is in relation to your thesis, okay? If you have a 4 hour thesis, if you form a thesis on the 4 hour chart, the market's got 4 hours to get there. And this is probably the hardest thing to do, is that people will have thesis in the morning, and I see it, they'll type their stuff up in Discord and they come back later, oh, look, I was right. But it's like, okay, but did you make any money based off of that? Because it's like you give your thesis, but then all your trades are doing something else. So why are you doing that? Yeah, that's it for this video, guys. Please check out the other ones. I have a playlist called Day Trading 101. If you want to get started, check that out. We do have a Discord where we day trade live every single day. Again, click the link down below. It's wap.com/tradeedge. The name of the community is Trade Edge. We'd love to have you there. We have a 7-day free trial. Everybody who comes, you know, we get a lot of positive feedback. You'll love what we do there. We just trade live. No BS, just straight to it, calling what we see. There's no magic bullets in this, guys. Trading is actually really, really hard, and it just takes practice. In any case, that's it. See you in the next one. Peace.